Before we start looking at the butterfly itself, let me quickly show you how the sample was prepared. For this observation, I cut a small fragment of the butterfly wing using fine scissors. The piece was mounted onto a conductive carbon tape attached to a standard aluminum scanning electron microscope stub. I also added a detached antenna and a small fragment of probably the front leg. So this is what our sample looks like. Let's begin with the most visually impressive part of the butterfly, the wing. At first glance, a butterfly wing looks like a thin surface, but under magnification it turns out to be a very sophisticated structure. The wing itself is made of a thin chitin membrane reinforced by a network of veins. These veins form a lightweight skeletal framework that gives the wing mechanical strength while keeping it light enough for flight. There are thousands of tiny overlapping scales that resemble roof tiles covering this membrane. Each scale actually develops from a single epidermal cell during the pupal stage of the butterfly's life cycle. At the base of every scale, there is a microscopic structure called a scale socket, which anchors the scale to the wing's membrane. The attachment is mechanical rather than permanent, which means that the scales can detach relatively easily. That is why, when you touch a butterfly, the powder that is left on your fingers is not a dust, but thousands of microscopic scales. Interestingly, this loose attachment might have an evolutionary advantage. Studies have shown that easily detachable scales can help butterfly escape from spider webs or predator attacks, because the scales break away instead of allowing the predator to get a firm grip on the wing. However, once scales are lost, they do not grow back. Adult butterflies cannot regenerate these external structures, so worn wings often appear duller and less vibrant over time. When we zoom further into a single scale under the electron microscope, an entirely new level of complexity becomes visible. The surface of the scale is covered with ridges and cross ribs forming a nanoscale lattice. In the sample we are observing here, the spacing between some of these structural features measures roughly 300 to 450 nanometers. This dimension is remarkably similar to the wavelength of visible light, exactly blue and violet light. Because these structures exist on the same level as light waves, they can manipulate light through physical processes such as interference, diffraction, and selective reflection. In other words, the colors produced by many butterfly wings are not created purely by pigments, but by interaction between light and nanoscale structures. This phenomena is known as structural coloration. A famous example of this effect can be found in butterflies from the genus Morpho. Their brilliant blue wings contain multi-layer nanostructures that act like natural photonic crystals, reflecting blue wavelengths extremely efficiently while suppressing other colors. At the same time, darker shades, like brown or black, usually originate from chemical pigments such as melanins embedded within the scales. These nanostructures are not only visually striking, but also highly functional. Structural coloration can produce very bright and angle-dependent signals that are important for communication between individuals during mate selection. Because the color comes from the structure rather than large quantities of pigment, the scales remain lightweight, which is crucial for flying insects. Iridescent surfaces might also confuse predators, by changing appearance depending on the viewing angle. Additionally, researchers believe that the optical properties of these structures can influence how the wings absorb and emit heat, contributing to the butterfly's thermal balance. After exploring the wing, let's move to another interesting structure, the butterfly's leg. At the end of each leg, there is a specialized segment called the pretarsus. This segment carries a pair of curved claws known as tarsal claws. These claws are made of hardened chitin and are strongly reinforced to allow the butterfly to grip rough surfaces such as tree bark, leaves, or flower petals. When butterflies land on flowers to collect nectar, these claws help to stabilize the body. Finally, let's take a closer look at the antenna. Butterfly antennae are highly specialized sensory organs. The end of the antenna forms a thickened club-shaped region known as the apiculus. The primary function of the antenna is chemical sensing. Butterflies use them to detect pheromones released by other individuals, as well as chemical signals emitted by plants. Under the electron microscope, we can see a tiny hair-like structures called sensilla covering the antenna surface. These microscopic sensory organs contain small pores that allow odor molecules to enter and interact with receptor neurons inside the hair. Through these sensilla, butterflies can detect incredibly small concentrations of airborne chemicals. In some insects, pheromone detection can occur at the concentrations approaching parts per trillion, making this antenna among the most sensitive biological chemical detectors known. When viewed together, the structures of a butterfly reveal an elegant combination of biology and physics. The wings contain nanoscale photonic architectures that manipulate light, the legs provide precise mechanical attachment systems, and the antenna function as extremely sensitive chemical sensors. All of this operates without electronics or artificial materials, relying only on natural biological structures that evolved over millions of years. Under the electron microscope, even a small fragment of a butterfly becomes a demonstration of how nature engineers complex systems at the micro and nanoscale. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing.